Welcome back to the first game of the semifinals of the Clark's Pump and Shop Girls Sweet 16 basketball tournament. With us today were the victorious George Rogers Clark Lady Cards, or as they go by sometimes, Lady Hoops. With us today is Coach Robbie Graham. We have student athletes Kennedy Stamper, Jalen Green, Kylie Chestnut. Coach, talk to us about that game.
First and foremost, hats off to Douglas, Coach Mobley and his squad. Tremendous season for them. Tough opponent, very physical, play hard, really compete. We knew it was going to be a tough game. We wanted to come out and have a really, really good start, and I felt like we did that. They came out and they hit a couple buckets early, and we were kind of down 4-0, but we kind of adjusted a couple things and were able to go on a decent run there in the first quarter. It's carried over to the second quarter, and then the third quarter we kind of had some lulls for some games, and we really wanted to come out and have a good start to the third quarter and finish this thing off, and I felt like we did that.
Question.
Kennedy, 27 points and seven three-point shots. Talk about that.
I knew as soon as I let that first shot fly and it was good, I was going to keep shooting because, I got confidence in myself and my shot. And if I'm making them, I'm going to shoot them. So I'm going to do whatever it takes to help my team win. So if that's making shots or getting on the floor, whatever, I'm going to do it. So.
Robbie, I think maybe more than any team this week, your experience on this floor has really been a big difference maker. And I think especially tonight, a team that hadn't been here before, really young versus you guys, even you're still young, but still got, a lot of girls played in these games.
Yeah, I think so. And when we always talk about poise and composure, through the course of 32 minutes, there's going to be ups and downs. There's a roller coaster ride. Team's going to make a run. You got to maintain, and you got to be persistent, and you got to continue to do what got us to where we were. I felt like girls did a good job of that.
Coach, last year guys dropped out first round, but this year you're still dancing on the final day at 7:30 tonight. Where has the growth come from, and how have you guys grown as a team to play well in tournament style basketball from that point last year to now?
Well, our schedule, we played a really tough schedule. I think somebody said we traveled almost 7,000 miles this year across the country. Went to the Nike tournament in Phoenix. We played all the tough opponents in Kentucky. So we knew that, a tough schedule will prepare us for these moments. And, we have a very resilient bunch. Our kids have been through a lot. We played some great competition, and, we don't take it easy in practice. We work hard, and, everybody's involved, and we push them and they push each other. And the goal was to get here, to be playing Saturday night. That was the goal from the time we walked off the court after the first round last year. We talked about coming back, and we're going to be playing Saturday night. That was the goal all year long.
Coach, you've seen Frederick Douglass several times through the last few years. Do you think that was to your advantage coming in?
Probably. I think when you're familiar with the opponent, I guess that helps. But, anymore with films and YouTube TVs and, NFHS, and it's not hard to get film on teams, and you can watch and study it, so we were very familiar with them. They're right up the road, so we've seen them play, and, even on off night, you go catch a glimpse of a team playing another good team. So we were very familiar with them, which I'm sure they were of us, but we, some key things in the game, we wanted to shoot more free throws than they did. We did that. We wanted to out-rebound them. That was one of the things that kind of bothered us. We've been out-rebounding the first two games here, and that normally don't happen to our team. So that was definitely a goal, a point of emphasis to out-rebound them. And, we had single-digit turnovers, and we created 18 turnovers. So those are three big keys that we talked about going into the game, and we felt like we accomplished those three things.
Been eliminated by Sacred Heart last 3 years. They got to play a game still, but you've seen them twice this year. Kind of what do you think you can take away from those previous matchups going into this one, if that is how it plays out?
Well, I don't want to disrespect Daniel Christian, first and foremost, because, there's a game that has to be played here coming up, and, whoever it is will be prepared. We haven't seen Daniel Christian, but we have played Sacred Heart twice. And obviously, if you played the opponent, you're more familiar with them playing them. And, if it is Sacred Heart, they're making history. We're hoping we can disrupt that a little bit. They're well coached. Have a top 10 player in the country. They're a great program, and we know that. But we're going to show up tonight. We're going to tip it up. We're going to give it everything we got.
Coach, it kind of felt like, I don't know if you all felt this way, but like the first two games, it was a little more flat. Today, you all kind of seem to be a lot more on a mission from the jump. What kind of contributed to that? What was your mindset going into this game?
Well, a lot of things is style of play. I think North Florida wanted to slow it and grind a little bit, which we're capable of playing different styles of play. Douglas, we play a lot like press, very aggressive, get up and down, want to attack the basket. So I think that allowed us, to get up and down a little bit. I think we hit a few shots early, and then we were able to relax a little bit more. And defensively, we were very active defensively, and we played fresh, legs were fresh, and we played hard and competed. And the communication was good. So I think, and plus, our kids, Douglas, right up the street. A lot of kids know each other, hang out some, whatever. So that obviously adds to, a little more intensity when tip off.
With such a quick turnaround, what's the process for preparing for the next game?
Well, the big thing is, they're teenage girls, so they'll be hungry. So we got to get food in them. So we'll get back. We're actually in the hotel. So we'll get back, get them off their feet as much as possible. Some ice baths and some recovery boots, and, we'll watch some film. The biggest thing is keep them off their feet, keep them, they have to get liquids in their body. So we have a ton of water at the hotel. And like I said, just mentally is as tough as physically, in my opinion. So, because, sometimes you think you're tired, but you still got more in the tank. So you got to take another step. But, it's a state championship. If we're tired tonight, then, probably shouldn't be playing tonight, but we'll be ready to go. This is what it boils down to. All the Kentucky high school kids, boys and girls, coaches, this is playing on Saturday morning, then you get a chance to play Saturday night. That's what it's all about.
Coach, past couple of years, there haven't been 4 teams from Central Kentucky. This was a 10th and 11th region matchup, but, nonetheless, 4 teams in the final couple rounds here. What does it say about the growth of the sport and just the prowess of the teams in the center of this state that, we have something that we haven't seen before this tournament with those 4 teams playing on the final couple of days of this tournament?
Well, just in general, I think, girls and women's basketball is just growing, not just in Central Kentucky, but you're talking about across the country at all levels. You talk about the, middle school level, high school level, college level, professional level. And then you look at even AAU basketball, you go those AAU tournaments and stuff. There's a bunch of girls playing just like the boys are playing. And I think it's just a growth across the country. It's a movement. I think it's going to continue to grow. Our kids compete, play hard. We practice every day like boys do. We want to win. So I think just the growth of Kentucky is definitely, kids are working hard. Programs are investing in schools, and programs are investing in our young ladies. And, it's going to continue to grow, in my opinion.
Coach, last year, I remember in the first round loss, right towards the end of the game, when you took out all of your starters and you were talking to them on the bench, giving them some sort of speech, or what were you saying to them at the end of that game, if you remember?
It was, we talked about getting back here, and we talked about the goal is to get back and win 4 games. So the goal is to, win 4 games. We've accomplished 3/4 of that. And tonight it'll be, a task, whoever we play. We know that, we know it's not going to be easy. To be a champion, you got to go through some tough, some adversity, some tough times. But this these kids are such a resilient group. I mean, gosh, we've just had so much adversity with, Kanaya Jones's illness and sickness and not knowing, if she could play or when she could play or how much she could play. And, we got Sierra that comes back in January after ACL from last year. And we got Anaya Chestnut that we lose for the year. And, we've not had one practice, and nonetheless one game where we've had our entire squad together. But these kids, they show up every stinking day and they give me everything they got. And I push them and I push them and I push them. But they keep coming back and they keep showing up and they keep giving me everything they got and they lay it on the line. So, when we tip it up tonight, they'll lay it on the line and whatever happens, happens. But, our FCA director, Pastor Ross, we've talked all week about being strong and courageous in the battle. The Lord says be strong and courageous. So, we've kind of taken on that 23 strong. We have our coaches, our manager, and our players. We're 23 strong, together. It's hard to break it when we're together. Unbreakable bond. But we're excited to be playing tonight. I mean, gosh, how many, programs don't get this opportunity to play in the state tournament, nonetheless playing on Saturday night.
Last question right here.
Kylie, Jalen, you both had double figures as well. Can you talk about the strong start and how much confidence you had going in?
Honestly, I just do whatever it takes to help my team, whether I'm going or not. My shot hasn't been falling, so I've just been able to attack the basket and hit some free throws.
Coming off the bench, energy was really high, and I wanted to keep it going. And I just had confidence in myself and what I can do. And so I went out there and I did me.
Coach, congratulations on the win, and we look forward to seeing you tonight in the state championship game.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
We have the Frederick Douglass Lady Broncos head coach, Daryl Mobley, student athletes, Samia Wade, Jaylene Knowles, and Kay Baker. Coach, comments, please.
Oh man, just did want it to end like this, but like I told my girls, we got plenty of things to hold our head on this year. The way the season's been, we didn't face so much adversity since we first started in July. So like I told them, we got plenty of stuff to hold our head and be proud of.
Coach Mosley, you lost a D1 athlete last year. You lost a transfer and 2 transfers, and you lost your starting senior, I'm sorry, and still made the Final Four. What does that say about your team?
Well, I think it just really applies into what we do over here in the culture and the things that we have done there to try to change it. And our girls, man, they worked hard, man. I always said this, like I said earlier, it was addition by subtraction for us. We lost a good senior last year that she's playing in Central Michigan. She's having a great year this year. But these girls bought in and they felt a little bit successful. They felt that successful last year and they wanted the same success. But this year they even went more, man. So like I said, this team bought in and became more of a family.
Kate, you obviously have been a great leader for this team. The 2 next to you are really talented players. Can you talk a little bit about them, what you see for their future as well?
Yeah, both of them have a really bright future. They both work incredibly hard. Tamia's got 4 more years ahead of her. Jaylee's got 2. They're playing on the biggest stage against a team full of seniors. So I'm just incredibly proud of them. And I think the future is so bright.
Coach, when GRC gets into their press defensively, can you talk about how that creates challenges?
I just think about if you have good spacing. I think our spacing was terrible against their press, and we was throwing the ball to the corners where they want to get the trap set. So we was kind of putting the ball right where they wanted it at, and we wasn't running through the ball to get the ball to the middle fast enough where we needed to.
Some of the way they play, I think you guys both want to press and get up and down the floor and do some stuff. I mean, it's almost like their experience, I think, was a big difference maker tonight, but it's almost like maybe looking at the future a little bit on the other side too, like when you have, the talent in your program that you do.
Yeah, we always just worry about what we got in our backyard and what we doing over here. And like you said, we'll take this game right here and we'll piggyback off of this and we'll prepare it and these girls will get ready for next year.
Here. Miss Wade, I just got a question. Now that this season's over, you played a middle school season, went to the championship and won that, and then here you are in the semifinals. Just how do you feel playing all that basketball?
I'm just so grateful that I came to Douglas and they welcomed me all in, and I'm just so proud of the team.
Coach, this is uncharted territory for your team, farthest you've ever made it, and this is still a young athletic program in general for every team in the school. What does it mean to set a new standard for your team and also for the Douglas boys team, for the athletic department in general as well?
I think it goes by far. It's just a testament about what type of work these girls have put in. Kate's been here with me since day one, since I came in. She's helped me build this culture. So it's took some work and it's took some time. It's took some long sweat and tears in the practice and hard running lines. And we just try to create that and just change the culture over here. And I think we have done a good job with that. And we just striving off of that and just keep trying to piggyback off of that. These girls are young and like I said, we'll take this in and try to make best out of it.
Final questions for Lady Broncos. Coach Mobley, congratulations to you and the Frederick Douglass Lady Broncos on a great season.
Thank you.
Thank you, ladies. Next to your right, watch your step.